Wood rot is one of the biggest challenges when using wooden raised beds, and trust me, I've seen it happen too many times. You start with a sturdy, beautiful garden bed, and a few seasons later, the wood begins to weaken, darken, and crumble. It's frustrating, especially when you've put so much effort into setting up your growing space. But the good news? You don't have to accept wood rot as an inevitable part of gardening. There are ways to prevent it and extend the life of your raised bed significantly. Stick around because I'll share everything I've learned through experience and research. And if you find this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Hydro Haven and share this video with fellow gardeners. Not all wood is the same when it comes to resisting rot. If you use untreated softwoods like pine, you're inviting trouble. These types of wood are highly susceptible to moisture and decay. That's why I always recommend investing in naturally rot-resistant wood like cedar, redwood, or black locust. These woods contain natural oils that help them withstand decay for years without needing chemical treatments. Pressure-treated wood is another option, but I know some gardeners worry about chemicals leaching into their soil. Modern pressure-treated wood is much safer than older versions, especially if you choose those labeled for vegetable gardens. Still, if you want to be extra cautious, you can line the inside of your beds with a barrier like thick plastic or landscape fabric to keep the wood separate from the soil. The main reason wood rots is because it stays wet for too long. If your raised beds are sitting directly on soil, they're constantly exposed to moisture, which speeds up decay. One of the best things you can do is raise the bed slightly off the ground. I like to place bricks, stones, or even a bed of gravel underneath to prevent the wood from soaking up moisture. Drainage inside the bed is also crucial. If water pools at the bottom, the wood will stay damp, creating the perfect environment for rot. Before adding soil, I always put down a layer of coarse gravel or sand at the base. This encourages better drainage and prevents water from collecting in low spots. If you want to maximize the lifespan of your wooden raised beds, sealing the wood is a must. I personally use natural wood treatments like raw linseed oil or tung oil. These oils penetrate the wood and create a water-resistant barrier without blocking breathability. Make sure to use raw linseed oil, not boiled, since the latter contains additives that may not be garden-safe. For an extra layer of protection, I sometimes mix my own homemade wood sealer with beeswax, linseed oil, and citrus solvent. This combination creates a fantastic protective coat that repels moisture while still being safe for edible gardens. There are also commercial eco-friendly wood sealers available if you want something more convenient. Just make sure whatever you use is labeled non-toxic and safe for raised beds. And remember, sealing isn't a one-time thing. Reapplying every couple of years helps maintain the wood's integrity. Good airflow is an underrated way to prevent wood rot. If your raised beds are too close together or surrounded by thick vegetation, they'll take longer to dry out after rain or watering. I always space my beds with enough room for air to circulate freely. Not only does this help with preventing rot, but it also makes working in the garden much easier. If you live in a humid climate, this step is even more critical. Consider positioning your raised beds in a way that allows morning sun exposure to help dry out any excess moisture. This simple adjustment can make a big difference in prolonging the life of your beds. Another trick I swear by is lining the inside of my raised beds. Heavy-duty landscape fabric, pond liner, or even a thick plastic sheet can provide a barrier between the damp soil and the wooden structure. This helps slow down the rotting process significantly. The key is to ensure that whatever liner you use allows for drainage. I always make small drainage holes in the bottom to prevent water from getting trapped inside the bed. Landscape fabric works great for this because it keeps the soil contained while still allowing moisture to escape. Even with all these preventive measures, I always check my raised beds regularly for signs of wear. Every season, I take a few minutes to inspect for soft spots, discoloration, or cracks. Catching small issues early makes a huge difference in preventing bigger problems down the road. If I find any minor rot, I remove the affected section and reseal the area with a protective coating. Sometimes, a simple reinforcement with a new board can extend the life of the bed by several more seasons. The key is not to ignore warning signs. Wood rot won't stop on its own, and the sooner you take action, the better. If you love the raised bed concept but don't want to deal with wood rot at all, there are other materials worth considering. I've experimented with composite wood, which is a blend of recycled plastic and wood fibers. It has the appearance of real wood but is practically immune to rot. Metal raised beds are also becoming more popular. They last a long time and offer a modern industrial look. Some gardeners even use stone, brick, or concrete for a more permanent setup. While these options may cost more upfront, they can save you time and money in the long run, since they require little to no maintenance. Preventing wood rot in raised beds is all about smart choices and regular upkeep. By selecting the right wood, sealing it properly, improving drainage, and using liners, you can extend the life of your beds by several years. Good airflow and routine maintenance also go a long way in keeping them sturdy and rot-free. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Hydro Haven and share it with fellow gardeners. The more we share knowledge, the stronger our gardening community becomes. Have you tried any of these methods? Let me know in the comments, and happy gardening.